Welcome back. Tonight's lesson is topic 5-6, two-digit quotients. What you're going to find tonight is what we're doing is just an extension of what we've been doing. Most of your quotients or most of your answers for the division problems we're going to be working on will have two digits. So let's kind of jump in and see what happens here. How can you divide larger numbers? So far, 467 tortillas have been made. These tortillas will be placed in packages of 15. How many complete packages will be filled? Okay, so we know there are 467 tortillas, and we know they're putting them in packages of 15. So we know we're dividing. We're dividing all those out into packages with 15 in each package. So let's see how many packages we'll end up with. 467 divided by 15. All right, so same process we've been doing. Ask yourself, does 15 go into 4? And it doesn't. Does 15 go into 46? Yes. If you don't know how many times, there's a couple different ways you can do this. You can kind of go ahead and make a list of your 15s, and you'll have that there. 15 times 2 is 30. 15 times 3 is 45. 15 times 4, is 60. 15 times 5 is, oh, that's making a dot there, 75. Okay, let's stop right there. You can do it that way, or you can just pick a number like I did in last night's video. You can start with 15 times 5 and see what you get, and just kind of work around until you get what needs to be, or what is close to what you're looking for. So we know by looking at this chart, 15 goes into 46, looks like 3 times. So we're going to put the 3 over the 6 because it's into 46. And we know that 3 times 5 3 times 15 is 45. We're going to subtract and bring down your 7. 15 into 17, that's an easy one. We know it could just go one time. 1 times 15 is 15. Subtract. There is nothing to bring down, so I'm finished. I know my answer is 31, remainder 2. Now let's look back and see what it asks. How many complete packages will be filled? We know that we can fill 31 packages of tortillas with 15 each. We have 2 tortillas left over. So this is one of those problems where you have to look at the remainder and see how it affects your answer. In this case, these 2 that are left over does not make us move up to 32. We can only fill 31 packages with tortillas with 15 in each of them. There will be 2 left over, and that'll start your next package of tortillas. Okay, let's try this one. 298 divided by 16. So, does 16 go into 2? We know it doesn't. Now, some of you are having a little trouble with making sure that you have your numbers in your quotient over the right number. So I want to show you a quick way to make sure that you're not accidentally putting them in the wrong place. We know 16 doesn't go into 2, so sometimes it just helps to put a little X above that 2. You're telling yourself don't put a number there because 16 doesn't go into 2. Does 16 go into 29? Well, we know it does. So, let's do 16. Well, here we go. We know 16 times 1 is 16. Let's try 16 times 2. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 more is 2. That's too much. So we know 16 is only going to go into 29 one time. 1 times 16 is 16. Subtract. 9 minus 6 is 3. 2 minus 1 is 1. And let's bring down that 8. Now, here's a tough one. 16 into 138. This is where I would come over here and I would multiply. Let's just try 7, see what happens. 7 times 6 is 42. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 4 is 11. Let's do 16 times 8. See if that gets us any closer. 8 times 6 is 48. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 4 is 12. All right, 128 got us very close to 138. So let's go ahead and put our 8 here. We know 8 times 16 is 128 because we've already worked it out. Let's subtract. And I know I'm right because my remainder, there's nothing left to bring down. My remainder, which is 10, is less than my divisor. So 18, remainder 10. Now let's check this. I'm going to erase these. So we've gotten our answer now. Let's check this and just make sure that we have this correct. So remember to check a division problem if you'll take the divisor and multiply it times your quotient. And I'm going to do it backwards. I'm going to put my largest number on top. Remember, you can do that because of the commutative property. 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 4 is 10. Bring down your placeholder. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 1 is 1. Add them up. 288. Now add my remainder. Plus 10 equals 298. And you know you are correct. Alright, let's try another one. 292 divided by 23. Let's go through the same process. Does 23 go into 2? No, it doesn't, so let's protect that space. 23 goes into 29, we know only one time, because 2 23s would be 46. That's going to go way higher. So let's, 1 times 23 is 23. Subtract, 9 minus 3 is 6, and bring down that 2. Now, if you want to estimate here, you might think that your answer would be 3 because you're seeing a 2 and a 6. But let's look. What is 23 times 3? 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 2 is 6. That is too much. So instead of doing 3, we know we need to back it down 1, and let's do a 2. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 2 is 4. Let's subtract. Can't take 6 from 2, so let's borrow right here, make that a 5, which makes this a 12. 12 minus 6 is 6. 5 minus 4 is 1. We know this remainder is okay because it is less than our divisor, which is 23. So my answer is 12, remainder 16. Let's check and just make sure we're right. 23 times 12. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 2 is 4. Put down your placeholder. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 2 is 2. Let's add these up. 6 plus 0 is 6. 4 plus 3 is 7. Bring down your 2. And don't forget, you're going to add your remainder. 16. 6 plus 6 is 12. 7, 8, 9. And bring down your 2. And once again, we came up with the same answer as our dividend. Alright, one more problem. This one's kind of set up for you in a way, just to kind of show you where your numbers are going to go in this problem. 56 does not go into 6, so I'm still going to block that spot off. 56 into 67 I know can only go one time, because if I do two 56s, or 56 times 2, that's going to be over 100, because two 50s would be over 100. So 1 times 56 is 56. Let's subtract. 7 minus 6 is 1. 6 minus 5 is 1. And let's bring down our 4. Now, 56 into 114. Let's see what 56 times 2 is. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 5 is 10, and 1 more is 11. Oh, perfect. This is 112. So times 2, we already know is 112. Subtract. There's nothing to bring down, so I know my answer is 12, remainder 2. Let's check it real quick. 56 times 12. 2 times 6 is 12, 2 times 5 is 10, and 1 is 11. Put your placeholder. 1 times 6 is 6, and I've already used that. 1 times 5 is 5. Add. 2 plus 0 is 2. 1 plus 6 is 7. 1 plus 5 is 6. And let's don't forget, you got to add your remainder, which is 2. And hopefully you will get, and we did, the same answer as our dividend. All right. Excuse me. Now for your work. Part 1, just as we've been doing, I want you to explain for me in a complete sentence, what was our learning goal? What were we trying to do in this problem? So go ahead and pause the video and tell me what our goal was for this lesson. Part 2 and Part 3, if you'll notice, I just put 2 problems. I want you to take this time to practice and work out 389 divided by 74 in Part 2 section. And in Part 3 section, please work out 5,190 divided by 47. Now in Part 3, let me just kind of warn you, don't let that comma alarm you. Pretend as if that comma were not even there. You're still going to say, does 47 go into 5? No. Does 47 go into 51? That's still a 51 even though the comma is there. All right. Have a good rest of the evening, and I will see you tomorrow.